Hello friends, Tom Downey here for Chat Sports, and today's show is presented by Aura. They offer all-in-one digital safety for you and your whole family as well. And they're giving you a free 14-day trial just because you're watching Chat Sports. Now you can cancel that free trial at any time, so there's no reason not to give it a shot over at aura.com/chatsports. That link, by the way, will be in both the comment section and in the description. Some trade rumors to begin today's show, beginning with one Kyrie Irving, as the Lakers still remain the main team linked to Irving at this point. The latest report from Marc Stein is that the Nets' plan, their goal, their philosophy is to wait to trade Kyrie Irving until after they move on from Kevin Durant. Now, that's another longer conversation with the Durant stuff. Not going to talk too much about it today at this point. The Lakers, however, are light on remotely quality assets, which makes things tricky, but the market for Kyrie has been incredibly quiet for what it should be for a 3-time All-NBA player and a 7-time All-Star who only just turned 30. Here's what Marc Stein wrote on his Substack lately, or recently I should say, most recently, his latest update. Quote, league sources maintain that the Nets are A, focused on trying to assemble a palatable Kevin Durant trade before proceeding to Irving scenarios, and B, adamant in their resistance to taking back Westbrook in a theoretical Irving swap without, for starters, some first-round draft compensation added by the Lakers. Part of this, by the way, is also that because Westbrook's going to cost $11 million more per year than Irving next season, you factor in the wild luxury tax penalties, that becomes $50 million extra the Nets would have to pay. So I do think Brooklyn wants to send out an additional piece, or maybe a third team gets roped in here to take some salary and or Westbrook itself, but that's a complicated situation. Here's my rough trade idea. Nets get the first-round pick they apparently want, and, of course, Russell Westbrook. Of course, they would not have Durant anymore, which makes things easier because those two aren't going to play together ever again. Irving and Seth Curry go to L.A. Joe Harris has been linked, and strangely enough, ESPN reporter, Chris Haynes, was like, yeah, the Nets want to move on from Joe Harris. I think it was Windhorst. I can't remember if it was Windhorst or not, but another ESPN outlet said they don't want to trade Joe Harris at all. So a lot of mixed messages from that standpoint there. But the one constant is Westbrook and Irving. And Irving, when he's been out there, which in recent years has not been that consistent. I mean, the guy hasn't played 70 games since the 2016-2017 season. Only played above 61 of those in one of those 5 campaigns. But when he's out there, this is the All-Star, the All-NBA player, the NBA champion. In theory, he should have a ton of value. I'm not sure that's the case. More on that in a second, but first, will the Lakers trade for Kyrie Irving? Y for yes, N for no. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's video. So if the ad break comes here on YouTube, perfect timing. Take advantage of it. Head down there and type in Y for yes or N for no. In a normal world where Kyrie Irving isn't, all the baggage that comes with Kyrie Irving, this should be one of the premier NBA trade pieces. And we're talking about, maybe a salary dump and Russell Westbrook and a first for Kyrie. That's not high value. The Mavs and Sixers at various points have been linked, and also other reports saying they're not interested. I don't think Kyrie's value is very high. Certainly not remotely what it should be for an All-NBA, multi-time All-Star caliber of player. The Lakers, though, are a logical fit, ignoring the funny, memes about LeBron James saying to Kyrie, you could not live with your own failure, and look where it brought you back to me. They are a good fit. They are in desperate need of more help and more talent. If they could go from Westbrook, let's be honest, he's Westbrook still, to Kyrie Irving, I think everyone feels a lot better about the Lakers squad at that point. It's not perfect. It's probably not quite as good as the team that won the championship, although, hey, maybe Anthony Davis will actually be healthy for a change. But if the Lakers could acquire Kyrie Irving because of their desperation, I think those two sides make quite a bit of sense as a reunion, even with all of the obvious issues that go along with all fronts on that standpoint. Now, today's show is presented by Aura. They offer financial fraud protection, identity theft protection, online and device security for you and your whole family. If you're like most people, you shop, bank, and work online more than ever. And Aura helps you be safer and more private than ever with their all-in-one online safety tool. They're giving you a free 14-day trial when you head over to aura.com/chatsports. I'll make sure that link, by the way, is put in both the comments section and the description of today's video. You can cancel at any time, so there's no reason not to give Aura a try. Let's take a break from the trade rumors to look at what the Summer League action's going on with the LA Lakers. They lost to the Phoenix Suns by 20 points, which it's the Summer League. You care less about the final total and how some of your key young players are playing, which, to be honest, aren't that many for LA. But the one player who continues to impress me is Scottie Pippen Jr., who once again showed out in an impressive effort in a losing effort against the Suns. The leading point scorer once again for LA. I'll say it, I think he looks better than Max Christie, the Lakers draft pick this year. Pippen had 19 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals against the Sun, although he did have 5 turnovers, and although Summer League play in general is quite sloppy, you're hoping that gets dialed back at least a little bit. So I think the answer here is Scottie Pippen Jr. But who do you think has been the most impressive player at the Lakers Summer League so far? Drop that name for me in the comments section. Max Christie next up. He's been a good rebounder, by the way, so far in the Summer League. 9 points, 8 rebounds, has not yet figured out the improvement of the shot side, which is going to be a big deal for him, but he's shown some flashes, especially from a defensive rebounding perspective, which for whatever reason, this current Lakers regime really likes those types of guys. Cole Swider is a very opposite player compared to Christie. He's a shooter. 11 points against the Suns, 3 of 7 from deep. There was a game earlier this year where he only shot from 3 in the Summer League, and he knows by now that's where he's best at. I would be remiss if I did not at least briefly mention Sharif O'Neal, the son of Shaq. He played a little bit after not playing in every game so far this Summer League. 7 points, 4 rebounds, and a very small amount of playing time. Again, he's not on a two-way deal like Swider and Scottie Pippen are, but he is a Summer League invite, hoping to show enough to other NBA teams. Now, if you want the best Lakers coverage, you've come to the right spot. Hit that big red button and subscribe today right here on the Lakers Report. It's youtube.com/LakersTV. Let's talk some Lakers trade rumors now, and along with some other players involved. The Lakers have not just been limited to the Kyrie Irving trade conversation with some of the latest media reports out there. One player they've been linked to, and we'll also spend some general time on him, is Eric Gordon. The expectation remains that Gordon at some point will be traded. The top 2 teams linked to him, the 76ers, and of course the Lakers. The Sixers make sense because, Daryl Morey just getting the gang back together in Philadelphia. ESPN has also reported, Tim McMahon, that the Rockets will get a first-round pick back for Gordon whenever they decide to trade him, whether it's July, August, or closer to the trade deadline. I would say probably sooner than later. Gordon is an interesting piece for any team that needs some 3-and-D, and especially the 3 side, because teams need shooting, and that's what Buddy Hield brings, who once again has found himself mentioned in several trade rumors, was dealt from the Kings to the Pacers. And remember, we had the wild time last year, right on the eve of the NBA draft, the night of, where it seemed like the Lakers were going to acquire Buddy Hield from the Kings. That deal was apparently done, and then they pivoted last second and went to Russell Westbrook, and oops, that was a disaster for them. And now they've once again been linked to Buddy Hield in a couple of different trade rumors. We'll go into Marc Stein's quotes on Hield and Myles Turner in a little bit. It's also worth mentioning that both Buddy Hield and Eric Gordon are former clients of Lakers GM Rob Pelinka, which is at least worth mentioning. So regardless of what team you're a fan of, Lakers or others, if you had to pick one guy to trade for, who would it be? Type in EG for Eric Gordon, or type in BH for Buddy Hield. If you could acquire either of those players, who would it be? Sound off for me right now in the comments section. I think just from a pure upside perspective, I think I'd rather go Buddy Hield. Now, Jeremy, I know you're a Rockets fan and you like Eric Gordon. I've always liked Buddy Hield. He's a little bit younger. I don't think he brings the same defensive ability. But specifically for the Lakers, I need shooting, and maybe some youth would be helpful, and that is what Buddy Hield brings. Not that Gordon doesn't bring shooting, but he doesn't really bring the youth at this point. I think the Lakers made a mistake this time last year not trading for Buddy Hield. Now, this is an interesting quote from Marc Stein on the Lakers trade rumors out there. Quote, a second source I spoke to expressed pessimism that the Lakers would have the acquired assets to assemble a trade in which they acquire both Hield and Myles Turner from Indiana. Various reports have described the two pages as prime targets for LA if it is unable to assemble an Irving trade construction that Brooklyn is prepared to accept. I would love to get Hield and Myles Turner in LA. I think those are two underrated players in the NBA. I don't see any package the Lakers could feasibly put together that would be enough to acquire both of those two guys. Unless their values are just way, way lower than what I think, that's probably aiming a little bit too high if you are LA.